Hello, welcome to the Magic with Mary podcast. I'm your host, Mary. Here we teach you how to gain confidence, be your most authentic self, and step into your power. If you feel stuck, you're in the right place because I'm going to help you release what's holding you back. You're so freaking powerful, and all you have to do is unpeel the layers that are keeping you trapped from being who you truly were meant to be. So if you're ready for the magic to begin, let's dig in. Why, hello, beautiful friends. I'm so excited. Today we're going to be talking about taming the nervous system, or in other words, calming the nervous system. There is a huge difference between discomfort and danger, and our bodies sometimes have no freaking idea what the difference is. And so we live in this sympathetic state, which is basically this fight or flight state. And we have all these amazing, wonderful things that we're trying to do, trying to accomplish, and our nervous system simply cannot hold it. But the good news is that we can start learning how to hold these things within our nervous system and being able to calm the nervous system and allowing these things to continue, allowing ourselves to be consistent with these things by showing our nervous system that it's just a little bit of discomfort, it's not danger, we're safe, and that all things are good. So one of the things that happens when we don't essentially know how to hold space in our nervous system for the things that we're trying to accomplish is we self-sabotage whatever it is that you're working towards. Maybe it's your health goals. You will self-sabotage by eating more than you want to, or you really don't want the thing, but you have it anyways. Or maybe you self-sabotage your business. You're being so consistent and all of a sudden you start getting more clients or more traction, and your nervous system is like, holy cow, I don't know how to handle this. And so we back off and we pull away from it. Or maybe it's with our family. Maybe we're trying to build better relationships with our kids. And, for example, something that I'm currently working with my son is getting him to enjoy homework at night. And it's really challenging. And it's making my brain go all over the place. It's the second he starts to whine because I'm making him do homework, I want to pull back. My nervous system spikes. I get into that fight or flight state, and I want to pull back and say, you know what? I guess I can't do this anymore because you're being too much of a baby and I don't want to deal with it. But we can learn how to be able to hold space for these things within our nervous system. And I know that might, what does that even mean? What does it mean by being able to hold space for it? Basically, it just means learning how to calm the nervous system, learning how to tame the nervous system, learning how to teach our bodies that we are not in danger. That's all that means. So before we dig into that, I want to kind of explain two different states of our nervous system, which is one, the sympathetic. It's this fight or flight. It's when we are walking around and our bodies are just shooting out all of these wonderful hormones to make us feel like we are in this crazed state of mind. And then we have the parasympathetic. This is when our body goes into rest and digest. And we're able to just relax, be calm. You might recognize this state if you're in a yoga class in Shavasana at the end and you just feel your body settling in and just relaxing, and you get into this calm state of mind. You might feel it if you do some breath work. There's so many things that can get us into this state. The thing with these two states is that we actually want a good balance, okay? Because it's actually good to be in a sympathetic here and there, and then balance it out with that parasympathetic. Okay? We want to be able to have this yin yang balance of things. And so it's not bad to be in one or the other. It's just important to balance them out. And when it's balanced, we feel better. We are able to handle more. We're able to focus more. We're able to relax and let our body calm so that we are able to then later on the next day go back into that, not so much of a hustle, but go back into that go state where we get just a bunch done. Okay. The problem that majority of us have when we are working towards some goal or something is that we stay in that fight or flight state of mind, and our bodies are not capable of staying in that state. We need rest and digest. We need it. It is the circle of life. It is a rhythm, and our bodies need the up and the down and the up and the down. And so we have to learn how to get back into that parasympathetic state so that we can have this balance and be able to function and remain consistent with the things we need to do to accomplish our goals. So how do we do this? How do we get into this balance, right? Okay, well, the first thing I want to explain is baby steps. When we are working towards some big goal, so often we jump right into this big thing, head over heels. We're going to do this amazing diet, as 21-day diet, and we're going to stay so strict for those 21 days. And we overwhelm ourselves. Our nervous system gets shot because it's immediate stress on the body. Okay, and so when we take baby steps, when we simply do one tiny thing at a time and we habit stack. I love habit stacking. It's when we take one thing at a time, maybe for 21 days, work with that, and then after that 21 days, we add more, right? So maybe, say you have health goals. Maybe the first 21 days, it's just about drinking more water. It's about getting maybe a gallon in every day, or maybe that feels so overwhelming. Come back down just a little bit. Take it to like 100 ounces. Work with that for 21 days. And then when that feels comfortable, add more to it. Then maybe that next 21 days after that, then you're adding a salad in for lunch. And you're eating more salad, okay? Every day. Or whatever it is. Maybe the next 21 days you're doing organic foods, okay? You don't need to do it all at once. That's just a recipe for overwhelm, burnout, give up. So just take it one step at a time. I know that your brain is going to be like, you need to do this all at once. You need to hurry and do this or you're going to be left behind, yada, yada, yada. Listen to your brain, allow it to speak its mind, and then just say, you know what? Thank you so much for your wonderful advice, but I'm going to try it this way. Just to see if it works. Trust me, here we go. Sometimes we have to talk to the ego and tell it, you know what, like, thank you, I hear you, I feel you, but I ain't gonna do it that way. Okay. Some other ways that we can actually get into this parasympathetic state. There's actually 3 different ways: mental, physical, and then not spiritual. Okay, so some of the mindset things, this mindset perspective way that we can get into the parasympathetic is by making lists, prioritizing the things that we need to do, and time blocking. This is going to be something that really helps your brain get on board and slow down. It's not going to be like in overwhelm, overdrive. I have all of these things to do. I like to make a list of all the things that I want to do in the morning And then sometimes I cross shit off that list. Like, you know what? I really don't need to do all this stuff. Like, I'm going way overboard, overthinking. Slow down, come back, prioritize. These are the things that I really need to do. And I put those at the top of the list, make sure they're in my schedule. I take a few deep breaths and I move forward. And that really helps get my brain on board so that it's not in that fight or flight state going, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then get absolutely nothing done because I'm freaking out about all the things I have to do. Another thing I like to do is just journal it out. And I use a lot of CBT or cognitive behavioral therapy. This is when we work with a certain circumstance that's causing us stress, and we think about all the thoughts that we are thinking about that particular circumstance and how those thoughts are making us feel. How are those things making us feel? And what are the actions and behaviors we're taking because of those thoughts? So maybe we keep having this negative thought on repeat over and over and over again. And we recognize that it's really making us feel disempowered. And then we don't really take the action we need to get to our goal. And the result is not reaching our goal. Well, then we just, on a piece of paper, flip-flop that situation. We talk about, the circumstance stays the same. And instead we kind of just like, how could I open my mind up to a new thought that could possibly change the way I feel, so that instead of feeling disempowered, I feel empowered. And I switch that thought around, make sure it feels good, don't try to force anything. And then I recognize that, oh my gosh, now I feel so much better. Now I actually feel like taking action towards my goals, and the results are going to be reaching my goals now. So we can really work through those the mindset part, just to get our brain on board. Sometimes our brain stays in that ego and it's trying to protect us. And so we just have to be like, look, we're not in danger. We're actually safe. Okay. Then the physical ways that we can really bring into our life this balance of parasympathetic and sympathetic is by doing yoga. We could also, the yoga, depending on the class, the yoga is going to bring us into this parasympathetic state. And then also going to a spin class, which is going to maybe bring us into that sympathetic state where our mind, we're putting more force into it. And you're just showing your body that it can handle going back and forth in between parasympathetic, sympathetic, and it is able to regulate. Okay. Now let's talk about the spiritual ways. This is where we get into the deep, deep healing level and that coming back to who we really are. And if you're new to the spiritual world, the whole idea of coming back to who you really are is simply that you are who you were when you decided to come into this physical life. You are a spiritual being, and your body is just a place where your spirit lives, right? And so often we see ourselves outside of being that spiritual being. We think we're this physical thing, but really what we are is this soul inside of a body. And so when I say that, coming back to who you really are, that's what that means. Sorry, that was just a side note. I wanted just to let you know, because when I first heard that, I was like, what does that even mean? And so wanted to make sure we were all on board there. Okay, the spiritual ways we can work towards balance in our life, and that is breath work. The first one that I will always tell you to do is breath work. It is God send. Okay. If you, and this is my personal experience, this is my personal point of view, take it or leave it. I used to rely on medication to solve my anxiety and depression problems. With breath work, you don't need it anymore. And again, talk to your doctor about that. Don't take my word. This is just my point of view. So please don't go and tell your doctor that you don't need medication anymore. Because Mary Jo said so. You need to do what's best for you. But breath work is and I'll say this, it's the life force of who we are, right? In terms of yoga, you'll hear like pranayama or prana. Prana is the life force, and we breathe it in and we breathe it out, and we breathe it in and we breathe it out, and it makes us whole and complete. And without that breath, we cannot occupy this physical body. And so when we honor that breath, when we allow it to calm the nerves, calm the stress, we're able to come back to who we are, and we can keep working towards those goals. Okay. So give breathwork a try. A few different things that I like to do. I'm not quite sure 100% what it's called. It's a 3-part breath where you breathe in through your mouth twice and you breathe out through your mouth once. So it's like a okay, and it goes through your tummy, in through your chest, and then out, and you kind of cave in. And I'll do maybe like an Instagram live or something one day to show you. I'll bring in like a breathwork expert. I'll probably bring in Ashley Lund. She's amazing. I love her. I do some of her stuff. It is, oh my God, she's godsend. Okay, I will say it time and time again. Breathwork is godsend. Anyone who's in this field is freaking amazing. I personally use a girl named Ashley Lund to teach me all of that. Another thing I do is Wim Hof breathing. This is where you take about 20 to 30 quick, deep breaths, and then you hold your breath for as long as you possibly can. And then you let that go when you're done, and you go back into those 20 to 30 breaths. Just Google Wim Hof breathing. He has an app. It's, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. It makes you just feel like, wow, life is so easy. And so if you haven't tried breath work, get into it. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel so uncomfortable at first. But once you start doing it and you feel the benefits, you'll attach to it, and you'll recognize that if I just spend 3 minutes every day doing this deep, deep, deep breath work, I don't feel anxious, and it's so wonderful. So the next thing I want to talk about is energetic foam rolling. I talked about this in maybe 2 episodes ago. This is where we hold space for those negative emotions that we feel. And this is like, maybe you have this negative thought, like, I can't do this. This is too much. And you take a moment to stop, open up your chest, open up your heart, take a deep breath in, allowing that thought to settle in, and really just feel it. Like, you feel the tension in your body from that thought and the way it makes you feel, and allowing the universe and the magic of the spiritual side of who we are come in and just wash that worry away and replace it with this new wonderful way of thinking. It's a practice. Sometimes it doesn't work at first, especially if we need to like really dig into our faith a little bit. So practice it, let it come. The point of the energetic foam rolling is to really feel those negative emotions. Sometimes we suppress them and they just keep bottling up. And so really what we're doing is allowing ourselves to feel the emotion, letting it go, and letting some new, amazing, wonderful thing come in and take over so that we can actually progress forward. Okay. Another thing I like to do is praying. And this can simply be something like, hi, universe, I'm feeling so much tension and stress because of this thing that I'm working towards. And I feel like giving up, and I don't want to give up. And just, is there something I can do to make this easier for myself? And then I will go into a meditation. And usually through that meditation, I will get my answer. The universe will send it to me in like a wave of a quick little thought through my head. It'll be like, oh yeah, what you need to do is sleep a little bit longer at night, or whatever it is. Like, some little thought will come into my mind. Don't disregard it. Take that to heart, because the universe is trying to speak to you. Listen to it. Those little nudges that we just think are just like little thoughts. No. They're not just little thoughts. That is the universe speaking to us. Listen to it. Run with it. And I promise things will be so much more fun and enjoyable. Another thing I like to do is EFT tapping. This allows you to feel those trapped thoughts and the emotions that are holding us back, and then really being able to finally just release and let them go. If you haven't heard of EFT tapping, just Google it or reach out to me on Instagram. I will send you some EFT tapping, or I will send you like a little script worksheet, and we can talk about maybe a particular like EFT scripting tap, an EFT script that would work for whatever your current situation is. Maybe you're feeling stressed around money. Maybe you're feeling stressed around your business or your health, or maybe it's your family, your love life, whatever it is. We can talk about that. And you can find me on Instagram at Magic with Mary. So just DM me and we can chat more. Another thing I like to do is inner child work. This is really going to get your nervous system on board, because with inner child work, what you're doing is you're finally meeting the needs of your childhood, whatever it was. Maybe you were neglected emotionally as a child, and that need was never filled. You're basically going back in, reparenting yourself, working with that inner child, allowing it to be the child that you never got to be. And then when you do that, it will release those emotions and tension that's building up, and it will create space for you to be able to relax a little bit more. So, and then, timeline therapy. That's another one I like to do. This is basically just updating your brain. So sometimes our subconscious mind runs on an old program, and it thinks that we are still young. For a long time, my subconscious mind thought that I was 10 years old, and it didn't think I was capable of handling bigger projects. And so basically I just had to go back to whatever that situation was that was keeping me stuck, and reminding myself like, okay, remember, I am no longer this age. And really just updating my brain and letting it know that I am older now. I'm capable of doing the things that I want to do. So sometimes we just need to update our subconscious mind to let it know what we are capable of. So the last two things that I really want to talk about is just really allowing moments of scarcity and fear to be like your personal guru, right? We don't have to see them separate from us. These things, we can see them as part of who we are, and these teachers of something magnificent and amazing. And we can use these circumstances that might feel so heavy as a teacher to something deeper, right? Like maybe we feel like we don't have enough money. We can ask ourselves, like, what is this really teaching me? Maybe it's self-worth. Maybe it's self-love. Maybe it's that you don't need money to have freedom. Whatever that lesson is that's there is waiting for you. So use these moments as your personal guru to teach you what the universe is asking you to learn. There's always a lesson in everything that happens, no matter how deep it is. Okay? The last thing I want to talk about is just allowing celebration and ceremony in your life. And what I mean by this is that every fucking morning you wake up so grateful that you are alive. This life is worth celebrating. This life is magical and wonderful. And there's so many things that we can celebrate. We get to celebrate the fact that we have a home to live in. We get to celebrate the fact that we have family and friends, and that we get to go to work and make money and use that money to buy the things that we want. And we get to celebrate, maybe you have a business and you have a new client and you're able to help this client overcome this thing, and you get to celebrate that. And maybe every single day you're getting better at what you're doing, and you're celebrating that, and you're living in that energy of just pure excitement, and being able to let your nervous system get comfortable with that. You are able to live in it more. It's a practice, right? Our nervous system is like, okay, so now we have all of this freedom and wonderful energy and ceremony of life, and everything's going well. Sometimes our nervous system is like, what the hell is this? This is dangerous. I've never felt this before, right? And so then we'll self-sabotage. This is where we play in that energy, and we remind ourselves that we're safe here. And so it's a practice. Let everything in your life be celebration and ceremony. And then you will be able to have more and more and more of those big, big moments of celebration. I hope that makes sense. If not, reach out, let me know, because I'd love to talk more about this. This is something that has really been hitting me hard on the head, and I want to talk about it more, because so often we get stuck in this like physical 3D world of like, this is the way it should be, and we're either good or we're bad, and I need to do things this way or else I'm not going to be able to do this, and I have all of these limiting beliefs and I need to fix them right now, and I need to fix myself or else I'm never going to be happy. And what I want us to start doing is realizing that no, you're whole, you're worthy, you're capable just as you are right now. You just have to be willing to open your mind up to that idea. And so being able to celebrate life more, being able to enjoy all the little things more often, it's going to bring you back to that wholeness of who you really are. All right, so just to wrap things up, these are just simple ways that you can basically calm your nervous system, tame your nervous system, so that you're able to be more consistent with the things that you need to do, so that you can manifest the life of your dreams and all of the wonderful things that you're working towards doing. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if any of this resonated, if you like the way I teach about manifestation, reach out to me. We can talk more about the Magnetic Manifesting Program. This is where I work with you one-on-one, and we dig deep into a customized approach to manifestation for you. Not one person is the same. And if I were to coach you and fit you into a box and teach you a blanket-sized approach, it's not going to work. And so I'm going to teach you how to manifest for your personal experiences, not only just on a human design level, but also on like a lifestyle level. Like, are you a mom? Are you a dad? Are you going to college? Like, what are the things that are going on in your life, so that we can work around that and really create this strategy for your personal manifestation practice. So if that resonates, reach out to me. I will leave a link in the show notes. And then, of course, if you ever have any questions, I'm an open book. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Magic with Mary. And last but not least, if this podcast resonated with you and you found some piece of wisdom inside of it, please leave a review, share it with a friend, print screen it, post it on Instagram, tag me in it. I will shout you out. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful day. Mwah.